Hey, how's it going, Gary? Welcome
Hey,
to
Rob.
Hi.
Co-host with Creany and the Gipper. I am Creany.
And I'm the Gipper. And this is a weekly absurd variety show with friends, guests, characters, musicians, artists of all types amidst, I would say, a silly time. What I've relished is having more time to do the things that I've wanted to do. I know
I never knew you to have plans or aspirations.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm a beard enthusiast. I really got into my glasses frames in the last couple of years to try to be more interesting. I also I work with differently abled people like yourself.
I'm normal abled.
Sure. And what I like to do is take this time to really focus on my writing. That's one of the big things. That I've been doing. I don't know about you. Have you been kind of staying sane?
Exactly the same thing, actually. Yeah, I've been working on. It's sort of been a passion project of mine for a while. That I'm finally having the time to hammer out, and that is my salacious tell-all memoir.
Now, did you say you have a tell-all memoir?
Yes, it's a salacious. Sensational tell-all memoir,
but and
my storyline, my life, all the crazy stories, all the controversies and scrapes I've gotten into over the years, and boy, it is salacious.
And then we're recording this. Are you allowed to talk about any of this? Because hey,
it's all coming out in the book.
I happen to be working on my controversial tell-all memoir, and
no kidding.
Yeah, I didn't think
I would have pegged you as a manifesto guy.
Yeah, I get that a lot, and I understand it. I'm just not a typer. I don't know. Maybe you could share a little bit of yours, and I'll give you some of mine.
It's going to be scandalous. I think it's going to shake stuff up. Have I said salacious? It's going to be salacious.
Okay. What do you just give us a little tease? Tape us of controversy.
What am I not covering in this book? I mean, obviously, I'm going to go into pretty deep detail about my infamous struggle with the addiction to getting the last bit of ketchup out of the ketchup bottle.
Yeah. Can you show us what that looks like?
No, I'm clean, Gary, and you know that.
Okay. All right. I went through a dark period for sure. I would dress up as Santa, and I would go to a children's hospital ward, and wait for them to all notice me. And then I would take like a front fall, and I would lay like face down and not move. And I'd like a couple blood capsules that I bite down on it, and it would just kind of ooze out. And, just the screams. And for some reason, I always got a kick out of that. It was just something that kept me going,
I love the holidays,
Yeah.
I'm a festive guy.
I'll say Merry Christmas. I'm not afraid. So
yeah, hey, I say Merry Christmas. I say Happy Hanukkah too.
What else is in the book? What other?
I mean, obviously, I've had some pretty well publicized feuds. I'm of course going to spend a decent amount of time on my feud of with the dad from the poopy butt Charmin Bears. With a long feud.
I've been no stranger to feuds within nations, and I actually was the original writer behind the one-child policy in China. That was something that I kind of own up to in this tell-all.
In my book, I reveal the true identity of Banksy. Some of them written before the quarantine. When I wrote this, it really seemed like people would care.
I used to play Exploding Cats, not the card game. And I'm not proud of it. It just happened,
I was arrested for insider Beanie Baby trading.
Yeah. You had a Liberty that was on the market. I remember I had to bail you out.
Yeah, it was rough, and it was just, you think it wouldn't it be great if you knew which Beanie Babies were going to be retired before they got retired, but
yeah,
sometimes you get your wish and It wasn't what you thought it would be like because you go to jail.
Yeah, you're kind of in the book too.
Wow.
I guess before you read it, I guess I should have told you that, when I was going through a hard time, I used your bathroom and I looked through your medicine cabinet and I saw some stuff and I flushed it. I flushed all your insulin. It was me.
That was not my insulin. That was my late roommate Phil's insulin.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have any other last confessions for us?
I have so many. I'll be finally talking about the truth about my relationship with Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
Which is I was the only person in my generation who didn't claim to see the ending of Usual Suspects coming. I was surprised.
I was the first one to yell at a judge, "No, you're out of order." That was one of my things.
I let the dogs out.
Okay. Yeah. I've been wondering for years.
And Gary, do you remember when we both met my ex-wife Blythe and you told me you had a crush on her and then I started dating her and then you were, because you accused me of just dating Blythe because I knew that you liked her.
Yep.
And even made a joke about it in your best man speech. When we got married. And I do reveal in the book that I did just do it to annoy you.
You married her to annoy me, and I think it's big of you to admit.
Your best man speech, you talked about it, and you were such a good sport about it. It really took the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, that's why the marriage was doomed. I never learned the metric system. At your wedding as well, one of the big regrets I have is, when you did have the burlesque troupe perform, I know you couldn't figure out where it was coming from, but every time they got to the top of the pole they were dancing on, I would yell, "She's trying to get out." And I was drunk. I was drunk and I was stupid. Yeah, I'm sure you probably couldn't figure it out if I didn't tell you.
My name is Rob Creany. A lot of people assume my full name is Robert. It's actually Kelvoroborg. What else? I did 9/11. No matter how hard I try, I can't get into truffle fries. So
brother, you and me on that same thing. I don't want to give too much away about my failed marriage with Carrie Fisher or anything like that, but I think my book is going to be pretty good, and yours sounds, there's hope.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so fun that yours is probably going to be a real quick read, and I think that there's something to that I think is cool.
Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yes.
You know who said that? Lee Harvey Oswald.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Maybe I'm putting you on the spot here. We've been friends for a long time. I respect you as a writer. Would you write the foreword for my tell-all memoir?
Of course, without question.
That means a lot.
I glad you brought that up because I would be honored if you wrote the foreword for my book.
I got a lot. I have a lot going on.
I understand
now, but if you could if you email me,
you still haven't given me your phone number, but
this email is good. Let's get the show started. We've got
show. Ladies and gentlemen, this next performer is quick with a knife and even quicker with her wit. She has been booked all over America, performed for troops on both sides of the war, and is a delight. You may have noticed her work on Comedy Central Roast Battle, and works alongside many drag queens because she's an amazing writer and helps write some of their jokes and stuff like that. So please welcome the very funny Anna Valenzuela, ladies and gentlemen. Anna Valenzuela.
Hey guys, hello. It is an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
You look great. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. And, by the war, you must mean the race war because it's here, guys. It's fucking here.
Yes.
LA is a little bit hectic.
It's more than hectic here in LA. I think people are just, I think people are trying to act in solidarity with Minneapolis and Louisville and everything. So, but yeah, no bullets have made it to Eagle Rock. So we're doing fine, Like we're in a suburb for rich people. Every Latino that moves to Eagle Rock is actually gentrifying in reverse. It was a city founded for whites only. So
I don't know if that's true, but man, that would be the name for it, wouldn't it?
Yes, it's definitely true. I know that it's true.
Do you have tiny hands on your microphone?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is just what hands look like.
I'm sure if you put them on that Rubik's Cube, it would look exactly like hands on a normal Rubik's Cube.
Absolutely. And these are also full-size Rubik's Cubes. I have an incredibly large head.
Your hands look like a raccoon that's burned his fingers on the stove. Is that fair?
Or a raccoon that's made a deal with the devil. I want to be the most powerful raccoon in the world. Give me all your trash.
Anna and I have been through some shit together.
Yes, I think it's the second time we've met at a show in Orange County. This is a broadcast around the world. To explain to you the topography of California is it's liberal in LA, it's liberal in San Francisco. It is a shit show everywhere else. And the most rich douchebaggery in Southern California is Orange County. I came up in comedy where you have to be prepared for a fight to break out at any time. Every single comic I know has had to either de-escalate, has started, has participated in a fight in Orange County.
Yeah, it's weird because it's known for like beaches and surfing and an attitude in the OC show, and then you get there and you are pleasantly surprised that all those things are having fun elsewhere, and the people that can't do those things have come to try to ruin your comedy livelihood.
The best part is it was like a 50-year-old woman who was really instigating most of it. She was drunk. No, you're a comedian. I'm a comedian. Fuck off. The Raiders.
Yes.
It was hot.
She was.
How many shows have been at where people have said to Gary, "No, I'm the comedian." Really makes
I'm the comedian now.
Yeah, you can see Gary doing it, and they're like, "This can't be right."
It's it's not uncommon for people to tell me my business. Like I just have one of those faces that's like, he looks like he needs to be told what to do.
People treat you like that, but instead they see me, they see this resting therapist face, and they're like, I'm going to tell you all of my business.
Could you, I mean, for just a moment, be Rob's therapist and just maybe Rob, I mean, see how this works, because look into Anna's face, tell her your deepest, darkest secret.
Place your psychological health in my many hands.
I just don't ever remember my grandfather ever talking to me.
Okay.
I remember him being around, but I don't think we ever had a conversation.
Well, was he in an urn?
No, I mean, he lived until I was about 10, and we were in the same room many times, and I just don't think we ever spoke.
Did he see your act?
My grandmother on my dad's side, she didn't speak any English at all. The only thing I know that she said for sure was pinche gato.
What does that translate to?
Fucking cat.
I mean, my grandfather was born in the United States, so I assume he spoke English. The only thing I recall him ever saying was, I was watching that. which he would say when we changed the channel when he fell asleep.
You have to go where the love is. And sometimes the love is not in our families, and that isn't their fault. It usually has something to do more with how they were raised. Hurt people. And what I'm certain of is probably through some depression era machismo, he just determined at the ripe age of 10 that you were like Neil loafers, as he would say, and not worthy of speaking to you.
Wow.
So what I'm getting is you're saying I need to be on the stage.
Absolutely. Have you considered drag?
Nice transition.
I really consider it. It's artistry, it's comedy, it's dance. It's illusion.
You've worked with drags. Is that
drags.
the proper term?
The drags.
The drags of society.
I've worked I've worked both with drag performers as well as drags like Gary.
Yes, I've written roast jokes for Eureka O'Hara, Latrice Royale, Manila Luzon, and Miss Banji. It's now, definitely a lot of fun.
For a novice like me, are those like the Beatles of drag? Are they like the big names?
There's a lot of big names. It's like, do you watch pro wrestling, Gary?
I used to, but my heart can't take it.
So imagine if Rowdy Piper had his dick taped to his asshole and had to wear heels, and that's drag.
Okay.
The iconography goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So you could really get into the lexicon of drag and you'd be busy for the rest of quarantine, honestly.
That's very interesting. It's wrestling without the slamming. It's just like the verbal part. I watched wrestling on mute, some bar that had it on recently, and it was like a lot of talking, a lot of dialogue, and nobody with each other.
There actually was a body slam in season 2, and that's the reason why on RuPaul's Drag Race, like Roast Battle, you were not allowed to touch each other.
Nice. If Rob were to go a little more drag-esque, and say I were to go drag, could you write for us? Rob, what are you wearing right now? Rob, you got peach
seersucker shirt?
Sure.
Wow, he put on his nice shirt today. That's nice.
He only owns like 3 shirts. If he's gonna go at me and I'm dressed, this is how I am. Do you just assess this and then go, I got it?
That's what's called a read. Also, if you've ever watched the show Pose, they actually do a lot of good writing for reads. So it'd be something like, first off, Rob, we need to assess you. Number 1, that seersucker is washing you out. That color is making you look yellow. Also, did you leave your house today or actually go into your living room without an undershirt? I can see your titty meat. Thank you. Come better. So it would be, and that's a difference between, whereas a roast joke, Rob, you're serving some real Father Time vibes, but let's face it, you don't have a lot of money, so you're really more of a Father Time X. You know what I mean? It would be something more like that.
That's great.
So that's sort of the difference. And I think a lot of queens don't know the difference at first. So you kind of have to be like, this is the difference between a roast and a read. And sometimes we'll send them videos of old Don Rickles roasts, and just to kind of give them the feeling of what's the difference in a deist roast and just yelling insults, which is oftentimes what they do. But it's actually, there's a social component where you're checking your community. Basically, it's sort of like how you get the information about how your face looks or your wig looks dragged behind a truck.
Let me give it a shot. Let me try it. Okay. So I'll just do a regular roast style thing.
Come at me.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Gary. Gary, you look like the mascot of a paper towel brand that's only used to clean up diarrhea.
That's great.
I love a looks like joke. That's beautiful.
Go ahead, Rob.
For a read.
Sure.
Look at you, beard that looks like shag carpet from the 70s. You pulled the first shirt off the rack and didn't even bother to wonder if it fit you, and then just figured you could roll the sleeves up and act like that was fine. Look at your Mr. Peeper glasses. You look like the professor at a school who got fired because he was too obsessed with birds.
Birds.
That is a passion. That is a passion, and that is none of their business. What I do with those binoculars.
I would also, if you were to attempt it again, I would start with you pointy head motherfucker wearing a fall print in the summertime. What makes you think that is slimming? You look like you're trying to fill up Zoom.
I think my feelings are hurt, and I'll get on with it. I'll live. Okay, let me see if I can do it. Anna's teaching me. A read is more of like,
so you're going to assess his general situation, whether that is his personality, his jokes, his teeth, his hair, his anything he's wearing.
What if he doesn't have any of those things?
That's beautiful. Just stop there. That's a great read. Just stop there.
You killed it. All right. And for
I'd read you, but I can't see nothing. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. Yeah.
And then a roast is you are COVID Santa Claus.
Yes.
I think that's
give it up. You could layer that a little bit with like, give it up for COVID Santa Claus. He's the only person who doesn't bring masks to your door or something. You'd want like an extra. You'd want like an extra layer there. Yeah.
He's a conspiracy theorist. Santa Claus.
Let me try and come at Anna. All right, I'm gonna give you a read.
Go ahead, Rob.
I mean, there's a lot to work with. I mean, look at this frizz. Look at this nose. Look at these Rubik's cubes. I just had to unplug Alexa.
Look at this store brand Daria, looking like a Spencer's Gifts was a person.
Ooh. Rob notoriously hates women. Oh, the only reason women are on the show is me. But Rob, go ahead. Do you want to try a roast? Because I think you did the read.
I don't know you all enough to do a roast.
Talk about a race.
Oh, great. What's your race?
You can't tell.
I try not to guess as a rule.
I am specifically half Latina and half trailer trash. That gives you a lot to go on. Yeah.
Oh, so you're like taco truck trash. Is that
exactly? Good job.
That was good.
Someone call Jeff Ross. This man needs a job. There you go.
Not just because the economy in Boston failed. All right.
No, because he's white. Anyway.
Anna Valenzuela, ladies and gentlemen. My dear friend. So funny. Creany, you're doing good after that. Your feelings aren't hurt, I hope.
No, I feel
you're
good.
A delight, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. You are too. Thank you so much. That was great. I really feel like I learned a lot about the difference between reading and roasting.
If only you could read.
Give a warm welcome to Valy D.
Hey.
Hi, welcome to my childhood bedroom. We have officially regressed back into it, and I gotta tell you, it smells the same.
It sounds all right.
I mean, here's what I keep telling myself. If this doesn't go well, it will be over so fast.
I feel about my life.
Okay. I don't have time to read Rob right now. Since I've been in my childhood bedroom, I've been thinking a lot about childhood, and I wrote a song for children, loosely inspired by my ex-boyfriends. I would like to share it with you right now. This is the story of a mongoose named Frank, who didn't have a lot of friends because he stank. Well, Frank the mongoose didn't like to shower. He said his smell gave him strength and power. We all know that's not how showers work. Besides smelling nice, has a lot of perks. Then Frank the mongoose discovered a book that taught him lots of things that he could cook. All of a sudden he was cooking all the time. Lasagna, chili soup, and pot roast with lime. As you can imagine, this is too much to eat for one little mongoose hungry as can be. So Frank the mongoose did an animal call, invited them over to feed them all. He knew he wanted to be understood, so he knew this time he had to smell good. He took a shower with soap and shampoo, came out the other side and he smelled brand new. I don't have it memorized, so I'm turning the page. Okay, the animals came over and enjoyed the food. Everyone was in a fantastic mood. Frank the mongoose stood up and said, I'm glad that I showered so I could have friends. The wise rabbit stood up too, and he said, hey Frank, that's not what friendship is about. It's about being there for each other. But I'm glad you be nice to your friends, but a shower can't hurt. And that's the end. Could you hear any of it? Could you hear the lyrics at all?
We could. There was a little delay at a moment, but we got most of the song.
All right.
I heard that you played that song on another Zoom show earlier that was a show for kids, and when one of the kids asked you what a mongoose was, you realized you didn't really know.
The truth is that nobody really knows, and it's a mystery to all of us. And it's just cool that I let someone know that a mongoose exists, like, because no one could really explain what it is. So I still did a good thing, you know.
Is it a weasel?
Now, no, it's a mongoose.
No, it's a mongoose.
It's not a type of
They have like big ass claws, and they look gnarly, and they can just rip things apart. Like they're one of the most vicious, like a Wolverine in a way.
They fight snakes.
Pretty unlike Anna's hands.
Is a Wolverine not a weasel?
I've explained this several times to you. Wolverine is not a weasel. He is a man from Canada that has had adamantium inserted into his bones by the Canadian government. So in terms of guitar comedy, how would you rate yourself on a scale from Judy Tenuta to Stephen Lynch?
Whoever the guy is, I'm that one.
Yeah, you always want to go the guy.
I'm always going to do the guy until the world changes. That's what I'm going to do.
Do you have another 40-minute song for us, or maybe a shorter one?
I have a shorter one. Yeah. Okay. And I would like to play it, if you could please.
We will stop talking.
Let me do that.
I will love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, for her second song, she's dedicating it to the memory of Rob, who died several hours ago. This show is pre-recorded.
This song is actually just all of the words of the Bible, King James version. Not a big deal. So strap in. And it also is at the same time is about what I'm like to date. Well, yes, you can hang out with your friends. You just have to tell me first when it comes to justice day. Friends, cause I tell you all the rules. I like those other girlfriends who make you discuss it, come to mutual agreement. No, I do my homework and I tell you what works. And if it works for me, then babe, it works. This is the part where I finger the guitar. Ooh. Yeah, of course you can have some space. I'm not a crazy girl. And while you're out there getting space, I'll text your friend Craig from the party bus, not to make you jealous, just to develop your scarcity mindset. No, I'm not upset. I'm just doing what works. And this is the second and final fingering. Ooh. Yeah, of course you can spend the holidays with your family, they're yours. I'll just tell my family the worst stuff about you that they'll always remember. No, I'm not upset. I'm just doing what works. I don't want you to feel like everything you do is wrong. I don't want you to feel like we don't get along. I just know best. And if you do everything I say, this will work.
That was lovely.
I know you all just found God.
And that's called a guitar?
In some circles.
Very good. Valy D. Ladies and gentlemen, of Roast Battle, of Historical Roast, of Top Chef, came up with the original Manhattan Project plan. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Light.
Hey, thank you so much.
My brother. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm coming to you live from Fairfax and Clinton, which is a couple blocks up from the protest. They've got so many helicopters outside right now.
And if you go like this, do they honk at you?
Mm-hmm. Every single one.
Hey!
Hey, mister, throw me something. It's like Mardi Gras. I got to flash them. They'll throw me beads.
Speaking of Mardi Gras, went on a tour. Your car was broken into during that short run. Your mother's car, I should say.
Shout out to Denise.
D, keeping it real in Dallas. Jay and I did a road trip down into the bayou, Rob, and Jay and I actually had such an experience together that we wrote a show for Edinburgh. Jay, you were in
Fringe.
Yeah, you did the Fringe with your one-man show last year, I believe.
Correct. Yeah, I did my stand-up comedy, my first proper hour out there to later record as an album last year, and I had such a great time. Are you familiar with much with the festival, Rob?
Oh yeah, I know about it. I've never been. I have a lot of friends that have gone.
It's a great time. And Gary and I were supposed to go back this year with this show that we came up with. You know, it's sort of a
Edinburgh
one-man show.
We had obviously some problems because number one, coronavirus canceled that festival. Number two, they did not accept our submission, so we applied to Cape Fear Fringe and Wilmington, Delaware Fringe, as well as Prince Rupert, Canada Fringe, and they were pretty unanimous with no interests, even if we paid extra. Rob, I gave you some of the script already, and just for the viewers. For everybody out there, it's a world premiere of a 3-act two-boy show. It's a two-boy show where I am the inner monologue, Beignet LaForge, and you are the
the outer monologue. Jackson Sazerac.
That's right. And
the Bayou Boys, inner and outer.
What the setting is, what you would notice if we had the stage production as planned was this man has fashioned a raft and he is traveling down the Mississippi, and I'll be a little bit of the narrator, and he's going to interact with you, Rob, who we'll get to see. We'll get to know who that is in just a moment. So without further ado, a world premiere, a small selection of Bayou Boys. Open on a raft coming through a small fog. Guess I should introduce myself. Beignet LaForge, born and bred in a bayou, roasted gumbo in my veins, along with powdered sugar in my heart. There's a river, Mississippi, that I like to call home. And that's where I find myself here today. What's that up ahead? A stranger. I should say hello.
Hello there, stranger.
Well, hello there.
What brings you on down to the riverboat now?
Now, I'm a traveling salesman. Traveled all this around this country selling my goods. And I keep myself busy by listening to a podcast. So, we're talking about This American Life with the, Hourglass, those serial podcasts with the Sarah Keenan.
Oh, yeah, another This American Life production.
Oh, yeah, This American Life production or co-production of This American Life of WZBC in Chicago. Talking about, I listen to My Favorite Murder. With all the murderinos there, I'm talking about.
Karen Kilgariff, if she knew what she does it right with investigating the murders.
Oh yeah, talking about the Ted Bundy documentary on Netflix.
You listen to that while you're driving.
Well, you did My Favorite Murder episode where they talked about it.
I see. Well, what kind of goods you got there, mister? You say you got some goods.
I got some goods. I got a Stitcher Premium subscriptions. I got Audible.com subscriptions.
I'm talking about
podcast salesman.
My goods for sale. I got like a physical. Like I'm looking pretty light here on the raft. I'm running out of all my salt pork and all my fresh water. I've been having to drink straight out the Mississippi. My guts are feeling something feisty.
Well, I don't have any salt pork, but I do have Spotify Premium, where you can listen to many successful podcasts. Some of them exclusive. Kevin Park Chat Show there is exclusive on the Spotify Premium.
Well, I tell you, I don't really mind listening with the ads.
I found out about the Blue Apron there with put your purple carrot if you like the more vegetarian fare. Your Harry's a Dollar Shave Club to keep yourself all clean and smooth out there.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a bit more of a sunbasket kind of guy. I think it's a little bit more sustainable.
So what was that? I interrupted you on purpose.
Sunbasket. Sunbasket's a bit more sustainable now here.
Oh, yeah. Well, what about a box that comes to your house every single month full of Harry Potter treats?
What, like a loot crate?
Oh, yeah, but it's the Potter crate. It's just Harry Potter goods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't be a muggle. Sign up for your Harry Potter crate.
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't have a house. I don't really have no mailing address no more down here. I'm sort of rambling down the riverboat here with my inner voice.
The type of guy who's in need of Squarespace.
Oh, tell me about that Squarespace now.
Squarespace is great for you. You don't have a home of your own. You need a home site. You need a place where people can land and they can find out all you got to sell and talk about, and your blog or your podcast, whatever you have there.
I got a raft. I got dreams. Got to sell those on my Squarespace.
Absolutely. Well, and there are several great podcasts about both the topics of rafts and dreams.
Hold on there, podcast me.
As the man started listing his various talks and boxes, I noticed the smell of dog shit had hit my nose and looked down to find that he had been covered in the thick liquid of a canine from knee to knee. I found it peculiar that he was so obsessed with various pod franchises without mentioning WTF with Mark Maron.
You better lock the gates there. Are we cool?
You smell like shit.
Oh, yeah. I have a problem. I said something that really upset dog Twitter.
What'd you say there now? Dog Twitter. You don't want to mess with the dogs.
You don't want to mess with, if you ain't never messed with dog Twitter before, I want to tell you to keep on not messing with dog Twitter. They take it serious.
I tell you, I don't know if I can trust somebody who's in the podcasting space but doesn't know how to compose themselves on the internet and talk to dogs properly. All you got to do is say a bunch of numbers and say they're good boys.
Well, give me an example there, boy.
Well, you say you got a pupper there, right?
Uh-huh.
You say it's a heckin' good pupper, and it's only a 14 out of 10. That's what those dogs want.
Good rating for a dog to be 4 above what the ultimate rating would be.
See, that's your problem, is you don't understand basic concepts about the dogs.
That's my problem with dog Twitter, is that I understand math. And if they're not willing to stick with the parameters established by arithmetic, how am I supposed to respect them?
This is why you never make it on the river. We don't care about math here on the river. We care about surviving.
Tell me more about surviving, and I'll tell you about some great podcasts about that very topic.
Just then, I had pulled out a .45 Magnum gun The man understood everything that I was saying by simply pointing the barrel into his mouth. He opened his mouth and started to weep, begging for sweet death's embrace because of his sad, tragic Rob Crean life.
Oh, my story in 3 parts today.
You got a real big mouth if you can enunciate so well while my gun's in there.
As the tears filled up my barrel, I knew that I was in love. That's a Bayou Boys.
Wow,
That's a little taste.
Just a little taste.
Yeah.
That could have been in Edinburgh this year, but special exclusive early preview.
Oh, my Cajun accent was okay. I've never really done it before.
I mean, the beauty of Cajun is it kind of takes, it's like other cultures. It just take a bunch of shit and put it in a blender and hope that nobody notices.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay was sort of a Kennedy Cajun at times.
Yeah, I think I was a little Australian at one point.
I got a little foghorn leghorn every now and again.
I got Philadelphia out of that. I was like, what?
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Jay, speaking of podcasts, Jay has a fantastic podcast called Blockbusting, which I have been on. It's talking about movies. Rob has been waitlisted on. Please check it out on iTunes as well as other things. Jay, thank you for checking us out. And you're doing roast battle stuff and things remotely, right?
Right. We're doing. I'm helping produce and perform every once in a while on roast battle live streams. We're doing those Friday nights, 8:00 Pacific time, and they're going up on our YouTube channel the next day. So youtube.com/roast battle. Check it out.
Fantastic. Jay Light, ladies and gentlemen, the Jayster. Oh my goodness. Rob, what a good read. What a great time.
Fun, yeah.
I think I had a pretty fun time, and I liked all the guests, and I like you too.
A little bit down.
Yeah, I just got the blues.
Still
I got
lonely.
I'm just got the lonely blues.
Yeah,
You know,
pretty lonely. Well, I know you've been lonely for a long time, Gary,
almost 20 years.
but I've got a great surprise for you. You're about to be a contestant on everyone's favorite dating game. Are you ready to play Get That Dick Wet? Get
that dick wet.
Wet. Get that dick 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 wet.
Get
that dick wet.
Wet. Get that dick 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 wet. Get.
All right.
You are our lucky bachelor. Allow me to introduce the contestants, all vying for your creepy affection.
All right.
I sent you some questions to ask them.
You wrote the questions for me. That's great.
Our first contestant, Bethany, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Bethany, and I just got out of rehab. I'm 24 years old. And I'm just like, tote subs and ready to mingle.
24, you just got out of rehab. Do you think you're going to be the type of person that will be back in rehab, or are you going to be the type of person that's going to be annoying about your sobriety forever?
I'm not like a fucking square, okay? Like, I might be a human Ugg boot, but like, I don't wear shoes. So just like figure out, I don't know. I mean, like, I take it one day at a time. Sometimes 1 minute at a time. I don't even know what I'm doing after this word.
Now let's introduce our next contestant. Welcome, Valy. Valy, how are you?
A little bit surprised to be on the show vying for Gary's affection. I obviously am not, he and I are not, we wouldn't ever, I'm not really, we're not in the same, you know what I mean? Like league? Anyways.
Please be more specific, be more blatant about it.
I'm just like beyond what Gary would normally, if we were restaurants, I would be, I don't know, the restaurant in the lobby of a hotel, okay?
Hotel?
Yeah, and then Gary would be like Domino's.
Yeah, or the dumpster behind it.
I am here to win, though. I want to make that clear. Yeah. I talked myself up a little bit, but I'm here to win his love and his heart.
Yeah. Though you're not interested in him, you are competitive and you do want to win.
Correct. I would never date him, but I will make him fall in love with me.
You didn't come here to make a match necessarily, but did you come here to make friends?
Let's move on.
This contestant is Guy, who can't stop talking about the Chicago Bulls documentary.
Hey there, Rob. Just over here in Chicago, the Windy City, city of broad shoulders. Just enjoying a little Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza. Have you caught The Last Dance, Gary?
I haven't seen it yet. What's it like?
Oh, it's fucking great. You know, we got Ron Harper doing the thing, and you know Tony Kukoc. You know, it's a real good time. So I'm just excited to be here to let you know that the Bulls, the dynasty of the Bulls, 6 championship seasons. I don't know if you've ever heard of them,
Right.
but I'm just here to let you know.
That's like the Michael Jordan era of the Bulls you're talking about?
Well, I mean, Michael Jordan was kind of important,
Sure.
but don't forget, there's Steve Kerr, Luke Longley. There's a whole bunch of guys on that team that were, the Bulls. They're the Bulls.
Yeah, right.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Sure.
Are there drugs in the documentary?
Yeah, great question.
Listen, ma'am, the Chicago Bulls, the only drugs that the Bulls ever did in their 6 championship seasons were Polish sausages stuffed inside of deep dish pizzas with a little old style to wash it all down. Okay, so I don't appreciate you insinuating that my championship Bulls did any drugs.
So that's heroin, right?
Listen, you want to go down to Harry Carey's and you're going to see a guy named Frank and you're going to ask him about the curse of the Billy Goat. And he's going to tell you where you can find your heroin, sweet cheeks.
Yeah. See, I actually just found out, a lot of people are talking about this documentary. I just found out that Michael Jordan played basketball. I always just knew him as a baseball guy.
I'm excited, Rob.
These questions, I want you to read them in a certain way. Can you just kind of read them sexy? Let me give you an example.
Sure.
Read them like this. I'm a slut, but I'm worried I'm not doing it right. Can you teach me?
So sexy. You want sexy.
Yeah.
This will go to rehab.
Bethany.
Okay. Shoot.
Bethany.
I mean, I know a lot about, I don't want to slut shame myself, but I've had a few STD scares.
No, Gary's going to ask a different question. That was just an example.
Oh, but I want to talk about being a slut.
Gary, you all right with that?
If I were a popsicle, what would you do to me? Keep in mind, I'm a popsicle with almost debilitating eczema.
First off, I would coat you in coconut oil because coconut oil is soup's good for the skin and you can't get in trouble for bringing it into a rehab. And it's totally gonna make you taste like a pina colada.
Yes.
And then I just swallow you whole.
Okay. All right. That's direct. Okay. Valy.
Yes.
What's your love language? Mine's Klingon.
I'm gonna try and ignore that you said that. Wait, hold on? Can I confirm? Do you mean like the Star Wars thing, or do you mean like the food wrap?
It's Star Trek, and I think that answer will suffice.
Loser.
Wow. Now, our first date, we go out to a fancy dinner. What do you do when I surprise you by pooping my pants?
Oh, geez, Gary, that's happened to the best of us. I remember the '96 championship. We were all getting a little wasted on old steezies. And, I pooped myself before. So let me break it down for you. It'd be me and you, and we'd be out in the streets and you'd defecate yourself. Now, I'm going to show you an example on this Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza of how we would run a triangle offense surrounding you shitting your pants. Okay, here we go. So see here, the triangle offense is specific where you draw a triangle. This is you, this is me, and this is where the shit's supposed to go, but you just can't make it there. Okay, so I'm going to come through to your backside here, and we're just going to keep working that triangular motion until we get you and your poopy pants to the bathroom.
I feel safe.
I mean, you remember in the Bulls documentary the triangle offense, correct?
I think it was Phil Jackson, definitely a tribute to him. Yeah, I mean, he employed it.
Goddamn right, Phil Jackson, the triangle offense that no one believed in, but then eventually you kept doing the triangle over and over and over again, simultaneously eating deep dish pizzas, and you got 6 championships. It's a no-brainer.
Okay. That's 2 great answers, and also Valy's.
Speaking of Valy, I think this would be good for her. Now, you want me to read these as sexy, Rob, right?
Yeah, sexy. You gotta read them sexy.
Be sexy.
I like a laid-back lady who can roll with whatevs. On our first sleepover date, how would you react to my racial slur-laden night terrors?
I mean, I could shake you awake, and I could put something in your mouth, like a book, like something like The New Jim Crow. I could just put that in your mouth so you stop yelling slurs out, and then you'd sort of like wake up, and then when you wake up, you would have resources to learn more about racial issues in America.
Okay, that sounds very laborious for a date. Bethany.
Yes.
I love a free-spirited, good-natured joke. How far do you think you could fit your arm up my ass?
Let's see. Let's see. Probably. I mean, like, I've been asked to pick a few guys, which is like, okay, like, fine. That's like, okay. It's normally just to like get them loose to like, you know, hide drugs or whatever. But like, the truth is like, the thing about like fisting is you really have to like relax, right? So first I would lead you in a meditation, right? We would get like a sound bowl out, like a crystal sound bowl. Then we would lead the meditation. And then I'm pretty sure after that, I could get my arm as far as my knee. I do a lot of yoga.
This is for the guy who can't stop talking about the Chicago Bulls documentary.
Good to be here, Gary.
According to recent statistics, the average graduation rate from public high school has dropped almost 40% in the last 2 decades in non-suburban areas such as inner cities. How would you correct this problem and make a better system where all of us of all creeds could thrive?
The first thing I would do is I would sit everyone down and make them watch The Last Dance. Have you heard about The Last Dance? The Chicago Bulls dynasty season with Phil Jackson. Basically, Jerry fucking Krause told him in the beginning, this is going to be your last rodeo. So all the boys, they band together and they took their 6th championship game. So it's a lot of like race relations where you got Phil Jackson is your coach, you know, he's the whites, you know, and then you know, he brings everybody together, you know, like Tony Kukoc, Luke Longley, Bill Wennington, and his sexy goatee. You remember that. And, you know, he teaches you how to get, you know, over 19,000 points in an entire season. So I think that would remedy any social inequities that you might be experiencing.
I think I've got one question for all 3 bachelorettes, and we'll be ready to make a decision. I'm a naughty boy. What kinds of child physiology methods would you use to help me reintegrate into society?
I would introduce you to a list of therapists that could help you learn adult behaviors.
Okay.
It's a good answer.
It's an answer. Bethany?
First up, I just want to just put this out here. Like, do you know who my father is? Anyway, I've experienced every type of therapy there is to experience. So in my personal opinion, I would go with goat therapy. It's different than equine therapy. It's a lot cheaper, and they can eat anything you want.
Sexy answer.
Can't stop talking about the Chicago Bulls documentary.
Oh yeah, thanks, Rob. I don't know about these two daffy broads, but what this question reminds me of is episode 7 of The Last Dance. Yeah, pipe down, sweet cheeks. Okay, episode 7 of The Last Dance. You know the one. It's where Michael's crushed by the death of his father, and then mentally exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
He retires. Okay, to go play America's
Space
pastime,
Jam.
baseball. He plays baseball, and it's with aliens, so it's much like the founding ideas for Space Jam. You get it. So what I'm trying to say to you, Gary, is episode 7. The Bulls move on without MJ, and they don't do too hot. So basically, what we need to do is find what your MJ is to reacclimate you to society.
I have a hard decision here.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun, but it is time to make the decision. Which of these contestants do you think you want to go out on a date with? You're gonna go out on one date, and if you have a good time, we'll pay for that first date. But if you go on a second date, you gotta pay us back.
Sure. Let me just address each of them before revealing my decision. Valy, I treasured getting to know you in this very short time. And I think that things could have been different if we were not so unalike. I appreciate your beauty and think you're great, but you're just not the one for me. So
would you say that you're out of Valy's league?
I would say that Valy is playing in the league of her own. Bethany, you've taught me many things. You've taught me about myself, your good nature, your smile, your sunglasses.
You want to go get arrested together? Come on, it'll be fun.
You're the type of girl that I feel like would throw a brick into a crowd from a window. And
allegedly.
As fun as that girl is, I am just not looking for that girl right now.
Fuck you!
I wish you luck. Guy who can't stop talking about the Chicago Bulls documentary.
Yeah, Gary.
You are the man of my dreams.
Holy cow! Holy cow, Gary. The Bulls, that's right.
Double three-peat right here.
This is like my 7th championship. Oh, I can't believe it. I just want to thank my fans, the 98 Chicago Bulls championship team. I couldn't have been here without them, and extensive studying of The Last Dance on ESPN streaming now. So you know what? I can't wait till we go. We can touch each other, and like my daddy always said, it's only gay if our balls touch. So
I know where you live, Gary, and I'm burning all of your t-shirts, all of them.
I'm gonna go fuck this deep dish pizza. Okay, see ya.
Oh, can I come?
A little bit concerned that you've made a mistake and chosen someone because they keep talking about the Last Dance documentary, and you're mistakenly thinking that he's talking about The Last Waltz, the documentary about the band. So I know you're a big band head. It's not the same.
They're not. The titles are so close.
They're different documentaries.
Guess we'll work that out on Love Tunnel. Rob and I are, you can, if you want to suggest donation, at Gipper 2020, and we can pay some of these goddamn performers who did so much work. A round of applause for everybody that came on the show today. Of course, Anna Valenzuela, Dave Yates, Jay Light, Valy D. This is my co-host, Creany, Rob Crean, and that's it for us.